Okay, I'm confronted with a gate, and this looks pretty complicated to untie this. But I think that's what I'm going to have to do because I tried this one. It's got the barbed wire, and it's just really too tight for me to skinny it up. See, it's also... Well, I stopped to put in my contacts and make myself something to eat. I've been riding in the dark for an hour, and I've decided to go ahead and skip Batopilas because that would be a 10-mile out and back just to get to Batopilas. As long as I have water, I can cook. So I left my friends Balthazar and Mariana because he said he wanted to have breakfast at 8 or 9, and I was awake at 4:30 and paddling by 6. So I feel kind of bad about just splitting on Balthazar because they were so gracious last night. Gave me dinner, gave me plenty of water. It was a little bit noisy last night because he was talking to somebody on the radio until 1 o'clock in the morning on his ham radio, I guess. Also, the dogs would start barking. So I probably got about, I think my watch said I got 5.5 hours of sleep. So the route opens up, been through pine forest. So I think this means we're going to start entering a new varying zone to more cactusy pretty soon. You can see where I'm going way down there. There's civilization and the Batopilas River and mucho calor, a lot of heat. So there's a viewpoint in Yerbants, which I guess is somewhere around here. Trabajadores del Campo says, no intentes ser mejor tu equipo, intenta que tu equipo sea el mejor. So that means don't try to be better than your team. Make sure that your team is the better. So that's Batopilas way down there. I think I'm going to stay left, follow the Batopilas River, and I'll just try to rustle up some water. That's all I really need to keep going is water, because I got plenty of food to cook. Ooh, nice viewpoint. There's another road going up there. I can't remember if I drove. I think I did drive up that road. Yep, there goes a bird. We were looking for a church that was farther up the river. We started up that road and realized, oh, we're going the wrong way. But I could see that road goes all the way up and crests the pass. So I wonder where that ends up. I don't think it's on my maps. Well, I'm at the confluence of the Cerro Colorado River and the Batopilas River, and I'm going to fill up with water, take my risks, because I don't know if we'll get water elsewhere. And with water, I can continue with no problems. It wasn't easy getting down here, but I think it's going to be worth it. You can see little fish in there. Oh man. Yeah. It's deep. Feels so good. Oh, so cold. But it's hot outside. Oh. Put my camera back and I'm going to go in for a little swim. This is the Carretera Batopilas Samachique, and it's about to get serious. My Garmin tells me I got a 2,500 feet elevation gain climb coming up over about 4.5 miles, average grade 10%. When I left the river that afternoon, the road climbed very steeply up, and eventually I found a campsite right next to the road. It's kind of interesting campsite I picked because there were goats on the cliff way above me, and they were kicking rocks down. In fact, I saw one softball-sized rock come bouncing down across the street, maybe 15 yards from my tent. And last night I heard people walking by, 3 people walking by. One person probably around 10, and then the other 2 people came walking by about midnight. And all I saw on this long uphill, which is lots of switchbacks, was one house that looked like it was abandoned. In fact, I thought about camping there, but then I saw a woman back behind the house. So I thought, oh, maybe somebody lives there. There were lots of goats up above, and I heard dogs barking. So I think I'm going to switch back to get up above those cliffs this morning. And about 7,200 feet in elevation, which means I'm the same elevation as Creel. Spring water, I'm going to go ahead and fill up. Absolutely agua pura. So are you with the Peace Corps? Or?
No, we're with it's a Christian organization.
Uh-huh.
The hospital is, and I'm with a Christian Health Service Corps, so they send medical missionaries all over the world.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm a midwife. My husband's a mechanic, so.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been living here 2 years now. My
Amazing.
folks are visiting. This is my mom.
Oh, hi.
But we also prune the trees, so. Yeah.
So
yeah, it's a lovely organization. The medical care is free to the Tarahumara.
What's your name?
I'm Becky.
Becky, I'm Steve.
Nice to meet you, Steve.
Nice to meet you. So I stopped in Samachique, found this restaurant, so I'm having a couple of hamburgers. So I'm dropping back down to the Urique River, where I camped last October, and I might camp there again. I don't know what time it is. See, I just came out of the Bacho Pilas Canyon. There are 5 canyons in Copper Canyon, making it larger than the Grand Canyon. More canyons. So I'm going to drop down to the Urique River, but it's not a substantial drop. Maybe 1,500 feet. So there's the abandoned ruin that I camped in last October. This is the bridge across the Urique. There's the cave. I camped right in the middle, right there, instead of my tent. When I camped here last October, a couple of Roramu stopped in to visit with me. And this is where I got my bad water. It got me sick last year. Following my siesta, I decided not to camp, but continued on since I had a couple more hours of daylight. It's about 4:30 in about an hour I'll start looking for a campsite. I just did that pretty substantial climb out of the Uruguay River. 36 miles on the day, not bad. I had a couple big climbs, 3 big climbs, and I had a nice lunch in Samachique, 2 of the best hamburgers I've ever had. And then I took a siesta at the campsite that I stayed in last year in October. There was a cave there. So I got in the cool cave and took a siesta for about an hour. This is the campsite that I found, and it's just after a pretty big hill. So yeah, this is a pretty spectacular sighting, if I do say so myself. Off we go into the wild blue yonder. There's my bike in the full moon in all its glory, lighting everything up.
A sangre tarahumara y llevar las costumbres de mi raza metidas en el alma como algo sin igual. ¡Viva Chihuahua! ¡Viva Chihuahua! Tierra que sabe a cariño, tierra que huele a sotón. ¡Viva Chihuahua! ¡Viva Chihuahua! Tierra bendita bañada del...
This is the route they ride with GPS. Sent me on last October. And it wanted me to send me over there this time too, but I was like, nope, I'm just staying on the Carretera. Made it to Creel. Finally, éxito, success. I think I'm going to stay here tonight. Clean up, charge my stuff, find out what time the bus leaves. And to bring it back full circle, I stayed in the same hotel, Te Mezcal, that I'd stayed in to begin my journey. The next morning, I pedaled to the bus station, loaded my bike onto the bus, and off I went to Chihuahua. From Creel to Chihuahua. It's a 4-hour bus ride.
No sé, pero si lo vamos a hacer como hemos arruinado el viaje hasta ahora, ya quiero verlo.
Por mi tierra bendita que es Chihuahua, esta tierra tan llena de alegría, ahí va la vida mía y ahí va mi corazón. Corazón que nació para ser rebelde, porque sabe perder cuando se pierde, porque grita contento cuando gana. Que viva mi Chihuahua, que es toda mi ilusión. ¡Viva Chihuahua! ¡Viva Chihuahua! Tierra que sabe a cariño, tierra que huele a sotón. ¡Viva Chihuahua! ¡Viva Chihuahua! Tierra bendita bañada de luna y de sol.